In prior administrations, government has supported the fight against white extremism. They've recognized the threat within our own borders. But some of those policies might change. Maybe we hear things about white extremism being removed from the countering violent extremism focus, and I think that that's a mistake. From dozens of Jewish community centers receiving bomb threats.
Yesterday alone, bomb threats phoned into 11 Jewish community centers across several cities in this country.
To cemeteries and synagogues being desecrated. To police officers in Las Vegas being targeted specifically because they're law enforcement by militiamen.
The couple entered this pizzeria around 11:30 yesterday and shot officers Igor Soldo and Alan Beck at point-blank range. The Millers then covered the bodies with a swastika and a Gadsden flag.
We have a domestic terrorism issue that we hardly talk about because we're so focused on the threat coming from overseas. When Dylan Roof writes a manifesto proclaiming his hate for people and saying that he wants to murder people to progress his agenda, that to me is terrorism. That's no different than an ISIS propaganda video. The imagery of white supremacy has changed over the last 3 decades. It's gone from what you would consider your normal racist to something that's more mainstream. Suits and ties, fashionable haircuts, and clothes that would never identify them as neo-Nazis until they opened their mouths.
So you think the solution is that we designate certain nations, maybe certain states in the United States as white states?
I think that might perhaps be the ideal.
And that was a concerted effort because we knew that we were turning more people away that we could eventually have on our side if we just softened the message. These days, with our political climate, we see a lot of coded language or dog whistles, the use of the Star of David when talking about politicians. We used to say that the Jews controlled media, and now they've just massaged the phrase to call it liberal media. And make America great again? Well, to them, that means make America white again. White nationalists, just like any other extremist group, promise paradise. They promise that the problems of crime and the problems of white genocide are going to go away, and that you come from a very white, noble cause, and that your culture is worth protecting. The problem is nobody's trying to take that away from you. The only problems that they have are the ones that they inflate with propaganda and with fake news, where they teach you that blacks commit more crimes against white people or that Jews control the media and the finance system. These are all conspiracy theories. There's no basis in truth. And I know this because I helped create those lies from the very beginning. And I helped spread them. And ultimately, I believed them myself. And I infected that lie into other people that were innocent. And even 20 years later, after I left the movement, I'm still pulling up the weeds from all those seeds of hate that I planted, which is why I've dedicated the last 20 years of my life to help eradicate racism.